I did want to put on the record, and that is when we were testing the audio, I did advise the Sheriff's Department to let Mr. Brooks know, to ask him on my behalf if he wanted to come back into this courtroom. My understanding is he declined.
No, that is not accurate, Your Honor.
Mr. Brooks?
The reason...
Mr. Brooks?
I would just want to...
Hold on, I'm going to mute you for a second unless you stop and listen to me.
I just heard what you said, but I just...
I'm not asking for a response, sir. Mr. Brooks?
It's not
Okay,
accurate,
you're interrupting. Hold on. You're interrupting me, sir. I wasn't looking for a response. I'm happy to ask you the question myself on the record for you to answer it. I will give you the opportunity to come back into this courtroom. You have demonstrated that you can make cogent, coherent, articulate arguments on the record. You just did that. You've been respectful for the time being. I will ask you, sir, do you want to come back into this courtroom? You've been unmuted to answer that question.
Not until I can receive medical treatment for the bruise that I have on my arm and the cut. You just said a while ago on the record that you cannot see blood. That's because I wiped it on my pants, and you can still see the blood in the cut and a big bruise right here on my arm. I was told that the nurse would be coming in to see me, and then I was told, no, she's going to come at the next recess, which we just took. I know it was technical difficulties why you called the recess, but that was more than enough time for me to at least be seen, at least get the cut cleaned out and get it bandaged, at least at minimum that, and for somebody to look at this bruise. That was my position on why I was not yet ready to come back into the court, because I feel like this needs to be addressed.
All right, Mr. Brooks, I understand your request. I'm denying the request to take an adjournment, or I'm sorry, to take a break at this time.
No, I'm not asking for a break. I didn't ask for a break. I was just saying that at the time that there was the technical difficulty recess, before you even called that, Your Honor, I was told that a nurse was coming in at that time. But then when you called the recess for the technical difficulty, I was then told that I would have to wait until another recess to be able to be seen by the nurse, which my thing was,
Mr. Brooks, you've made your record, okay? I don't need you to go further with that. You've made your record. I'm going to mute you for the time being. I want you to be aware, sir, I was advised regarding the cut. The bruise is new information. I made a determination that you would be seen at the next appropriate break. From my perspective, a small cut and a bruise is not going to hold up the start of bringing the jurors in and advising them of the preliminary jury instructions. If that means the next break we take is for lunch and that's when you are seen, then that's what will happen. So I don't think I've overlooked anything, Attorney Opper, but anything you had on your list?
Nothing else on my list, but we want to give Mr. Brooks one more opportunity to change out of his orange jail uniform. Excuse me.
That I would give him an opportunity to do. Mr. Brooks, would you like to go back and change into your suit?
My position has not changed whatsoever, and it will not change, as it is my right to come into court how I would like to. Just like I should be awarded the right to be present for every proceedings in this trial.
All right, I'm muting him again. I note your objection. I will take that as a clear indication you do not want to go back to the jail to change into street or civilian clothing, that you are exercising your right to dress in the jail attire. All right, then with that, I am going to just take a short recess just to have the jurors brought in.
And I think Mr. Brooks needs his objection signed.
We'll make sure he has it.
Thank you.
Let me actually go back on the record for a second. Mr. Brooks, when the jury comes in, I am going to read through the preliminary jury instructions. Since those have been approved by the court, if you happen to raise your sign, I'll note it for the record, but I'm not going to ask you for any type of argument on that because we've already had that opportunity to do so. It will take me some time to read through the instructions. I don't know if that will take us to the lunch hour or not. The state should be potentially prepared to go through its opening. Mr. Brooks, if we do get to that point where the state is giving its opening and you have an objection, you need to write down the objection in addition to raising your hand, and I will rule on the objections after the closing statement. So you must write down the basis for the objection and what you're objecting to, in addition to holding up your sign. That's the procedure that we will follow. All right, now we're on a short break until the jury comes in.